Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, you're listening to the Samuel Brock Flynn Show on air.
Hello, I'm Samuel Brock Flynn with Chris Free.
Good morning.
And we're supposed to supposedly have Donald James Parker on.
Hi, this is Chris Free coming at you live here.
We're wondering where he is.
Yeah, we got our host Samuel Brock Flynn with us here, live with us too. And we are broadcasting here from Crossville, Tennessee, out there in web radio land. And my name is Chris Free, and my film producer, I'm also a talent and music manager. And this Samuel Brock Flynn is also a film director and actor out of Crossville, Tennessee. And so how are you doing this morning there, Samuel? Okay, Samuel.
Doing good. I'm waiting on the person there, and so let me see.
Well,
he says he can't connect for some reason. Donald says he can't connect for some reason.
Okay, here in a few seconds we will have our guest person this morning coming in. And his name is Donald James Parker, and he is also a film producer, writer, as well as an actor. And we'll talk to him in a few seconds as soon as he has a way to get in. He's having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, he's a writer as well, I think.
Yeah, and we'll learn a little about him.
DB.com.
And thanks. Do we have Donald James Parker with us?
Hello.
I'm here. This is sorry about our technical difficulties
Not yet
this morning. But for anybody to know about the show, we are an entertainment-based show coming at you live at least a lot of times, a couple times a week, and a lot of times we are broadcasting with other filmmakers, musicians, actors, various other people that
are
have
you
some
there?
relation to film industry.
Okay, good.
Or theater, music industry, or any other type of thing. So, if you have something to talk about, one of your films or book, just get with us. And as soon as we get with Donald James Parker, we will be talking to him in a few seconds. And still no luck here.
Yeah, our number is 619-393-6781, just if you want to call in and talk to me and Chris if you want to. We are evidently... Donald actually has one of his films that's called the Unexpected something. Bar Mitzvah, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Is his newest films here in Crossville. And so the Unexpected Bar Mitzvah movie that he's doing, and he's an actor in that. He's been actually an actor in several places, actually. And Donald James Parker's a native of Madison in South Dakota, transplanted into Middle Tennessee. He has written 15 books, novels, and one fiction or one nonfiction book. His new focus is screenplays and acting. He hosts the Blog Talk radio show Wielding the Sword of the Spirit and is a writer for Examiner.com. Okay, here he is.
I'm here, Samuel.
Yeah.
Hello. Who is
Hi.
this?
This is Donald James Parker.
Is this Donald?
Good morning, Donald. This is Chris
okay.
Free. How you doing?
You're live.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah, sorry, but we had some technical difficulties here for
Yep.
the first couple of minutes here of the show. And so how's everything going, Donald, there?
Well, now that I've got connected, it's a little frustrating trying to 3 different phones. Nothing seems to be working.
And yeah,
and then the first time
there
we had some weird. So.
Those of you who don't know, Donald James Parker is a producer, writer, screenwriter, as well as an actor out of Fairfield Glade, Tennessee, and you're originally from North Dakota.
South Dakota.
Originally, South Dakota.
Yeah. Or no, south.
He's also now transplanted down here in Tennessee, and he's been actively shooting Christian-based movies. He is a Christian. Those out there, and he is a Christian writer, producer, director, everything. So, and you're currently just wrapped up production of a movie called The Unexpected Bar Mitzvah.
Correct.
How would you like to tell the world out there about your movie there? You just wrapped up here about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was actually a week ago Thursday. So, shoot went pretty well. I had a little episode on Sunday. We stepped outside and I smelled smoke, and one of the other gals smelled smoke, and so I went running in the house and ran all around the house, couldn't find any source of smoke, and I went back outside, and she says, there's smoke coming off the roof, and so we called 911, and the fire trucks all came, and a bunch of firemen, and we had about vehicles for like 2 blocks backed up along the street, and turned out it was the fan in my bathroom had melted down and was shorted out or something, and was causing the problem. So that gave us a little bit of a scare. But other than that,
so lucky everything was okay then.
Yeah, we thought. Yeah, we thought the enemy was coming against it. The film is something that the enemy's not going to like. So we knew that there was going to be some opposition. So we just pressed in with prayer, and we continued, and things went well after that, and we got it all shot. We had some wonderful people on this shoot. Rich Swingle from New York City was just absolutely amazing. He's a tremendous actor, and he had one of the main roles. And Jeff Rose from Atlanta was played kind of his opposite, and he's an excellent actor. And then we also had a couple of young guys out of Atlanta. They were 13-year-olds. They did a really good job for what they were doing, and I think it's going to be an interesting. I can't wait to see the rough cut of it, because I think it's going to be a powerful movie. I'm working right now to get some really good music for it, and I think this movie may be something that's going to impact the world.
And can you just briefly tell us what the movie is briefly about?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's about a Christian boy, a teenager, who wants to do missionary work, and he decides that he wants to work with the Jewish people, and he finds out that there are no Jewish people in his hometown, which is in South Dakota. And then his father just happens to be in a position to hire professors at the college, and the new professor he hires happens to be Jewish, and so a Jewish family moves in right next door to this boy, and so he does his prayer thing, and Jesus comes on the scene for this 13-year-old boy, and he has to make the decision. He's Jewish, and if he accepts the Messiah, it's going to cause all kinds of problems with his family, and so he has this little dilemma, and then then there's another twist to the story as well, involving the Christian family and something that they have trouble believing in, which causes them to stretch their faith as well. And so I think it's an interesting script.
Interesting.
But I wrote it, so I'm a little bit biased, but I think it's, everybody, when somebody like Rich Swingle says that he thinks it's a wonderful script and powerful, and I'll sit up and listen to a voice like that. So I think it's going to be a special story.
And this movie, you're both the writer.
I do too. I think it looks good.
You're producer, and you also play one of the major roles in this film. What role did you play?
No.
In this movie?
I play a minor role in this one.
Oh, so this one you're actually one of the minor roles compared to one of your actually other films.
I was scheduled to play a Messianic rabbi, but one of our actors that we had scheduled to play one of the Jewish brother to the main character, he was unable to come down here. He has some illness, and that was like 3 days before we were supposed to shoot those scenes. So in order to fill the gap, I took his role, and I got Paul Spite from Cookville to handle the rabbi. So Paul came over for one afternoon and got that out of the way, and then I did the other. It was like 3 days of shooting the other role. So I was on the set more than I would have been, but I didn't have very many lines, so I was a fairly minor character, and that's fine. I love to act, but I love to see somebody like Rich Swingle in action more than I like seeing myself act. So it was really good to, for this one to just have a minor role. And
if you talk about some of these other actors you have in the movie that briefly tell us, what the role in this, and anything interesting points about some of the actors, the key actors in the movie.
Well, like I said, Rich Swingle's out of New York City. He's got an extensive background in theater. He grew up near the town in Oregon where they have the Shakespeare Festival every year, and he was struck with acting back then, and he's acted all over the world literally, and he's just tremendous, and he brings he's not a very big guy. I had envisioned that this character he's playing was someone that was kind of intimidating, and so when I originally was casting this role, I was looking for someone bigger in stature, and I was going to have him play the character I actually ended up playing, but he kind of, after thinking about it, I decided to give him that main role, and it turned out with his voice and his emotion, he was intimidating, even though he's not big in stature. So it really worked out well. And then his wife played his wife, so that was kind of an interesting dynamic as well. So, but we had one character we had. Yeah, one character we had was a fairly minor character. It was my wife in the script. Is an actress out of Orlando, and she actually was Jewish, and she actually lived the story. She had gone through this conversion process, where she found the Messiah and how she'd been ostracized by her family. So the story was kind of near and dear to her. But one of the things, several of the people, including her, had a tie to Sid Roth from It's Supernatural. And one of the things in the script is it deals with his book called 10 Amazing Jews They Thought for Themselves. And so one of my goals has been in the past few years is to somehow get on Sid Roth's show and to showcase these materials that I'm trying to bring to the world. And several, Jeff Rose had produced 68 episodes of It's Supernatural, and some of the actors, I think 4 of them, had been actors on that show. The lady whose music we're going to use for the movie was a guest on the show a couple of times.
Glenn Tucker.
Pardon?
Glenn Tucker was.
Pardon?
I said I've already found out that Glenn Tucker was part of the It's Supernatural.
Yeah. Yeah, so was, I think, Callan Wilson and Cassidy McClincy, and of course, Jeff Rose.
Yeah.
So it's exciting just to see what God's going to do with this. But I'm opening some doors right now that weren't open before this. So I'm trying to reach out to the house of Israel.
I hope your film goes great, and I hope it gets you a lot of views and people.
Thank you.
So
yeah,
I'm
so
sure
too.
it will, but I'm just gonna say it just takes some time originally.
Yeah. I just wished I had access to the type of resources that, God is not dead, or Noah or somebody has to make this, the world aware of the film so that they'd have a chance to see it. But God will
I understand
make a way
that.
where there seems to be no way.
Yeah. I hope everything goes well with it. So, are you a computer programmer?
I used to be.
By the way,
I haven't hardly done anything since I started. Since I retired from my job, the only programming I've done is a little bit on my website. I do not really miss it at all.
Well, yeah.
No, it was fun. I always enjoyed programming.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you with like Microsoft for a while, or
I was at Microsoft
were you
for
with somebody else
6 months.
when you did?
Yeah, I was a contractor at Microsoft
cool.
for 6 months, and I worked in the Visual Basic support team. So when people had a problem with Visual Basic, they would, place a trouble ticket in, and then I would go try to help them with that. So it was interesting work, but I moved on to I got an offer to work at a company.
I've had. Yeah, I've actually had some computer problem, and I was gonna ask you one time how would I fix it. Is what I was gonna ask you, because I'm not that skilled into that, but I am skilled at website building and radio and stuff like that. But that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about
basic
computers.
other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about fixing computers themselves, but I was a software guy, so
yeah.
Yeah,
I was just saying that's what I can. I forgot about you being. I didn't know if you was still on air.
I had switched phones, cable companies here.
So
me in my home phone, and just kind of knocked me off completely off my home phone. So I had to switch to my cell phone. But
yeah.
I'm live here.
So
now this is your third or fourth feature film, Donald?
Well, it's my third that I've produced. I was an actor and a co-writer on another one called Right to Believe, which just released in February. And I also went out to Los Angeles in February. In fact, our movie Right to Believe released while I was in L.A. And I shot a movie with Kevin Sorbo and some other people out there. And Chip Rossetti was working on that one as well. So that's 5 features that I've been involved as I was either writer or co-writer on all 5 and acted in all 5, produced 3 of them. So the ones that we do in Crossville.
Kevin Sorbo, as you know, is actually from the current big hit that's actually playing in the theaters right now, God is Not Dead, out there. So it is a boxing movie by the same director, Chip Rossetti, that he's been working with for the last couple films. And you also just had a premiere here just recently in February on a movie called Gramps Goes to College. And it was a movie shot here in Crossville, Tennessee in December of last year, 2013. And how's that going there as far as, release? Do you have a Would you like to talk about that and briefly about your some ideas?
I was hoping that Gramps Goes to College would kind of dovetail off the success of God's Not Dead, because the topic is very similar. You know, it's instead of a college kid, you know, challenging a teacher in the college classroom, it's an old man, in this case Gramps. So, but the topic was basically the same. It was just a different approach. But, you know, I went to see God's Not Dead last night, and so now I know exactly what it's about. So there was a lot of parallels. So I haven't really done much as far as seeking distribution on that one. I might check with PureFlix, since they were the ones who released God's Not Dead. Maybe they would be interested in, you know, piggybacking off the success of God's Not Dead with that one. I don't know, but that's one of the options that I've been weighing. But
and
so
that
now
one,
it's kind of
now this one is actually, for those who don't know, it's actually a prequel, you know, to another previous movie that you actually saw also last year, that as well, called Gramps.
In Gramps' Shoes.
In Gramps' Shoes.
Yes. Now that one's distributed. I'm not real happy with the distribution channels that I selected because of some issues, but it is available on Amazon and so on. And I don't know if it's selling anything or not, but it's been fairly successful in the Crossville. I get people call me once in a while. They call my house and say, I need a copy of Gramps' Shoes, or my neighbors stop me and, you know, come over my house and buy a copy. So that one's done fairly well, and it's on Parables TV at this point in time. They've aired it 3 times, I believe, since they started back on March 2nd, I think it was. And I got an email from the vice president out at Parables this week asking me to have it dubbed into Spanish. So that's on the agenda now.
There.
Pardon?
That'll be interesting. That's, you got to get some Spanish-speaking actors come in.
Yes, that's what he's Hispanic. Yeah, so I'm just gonna give him a script and the files that we had for the movie, and he's gonna get the actors and dub it all. It won't cost me a cent. And then he's gonna air it on. He's gonna get it syndicated on some television stations, Spanish TV stations, and then I get a copy of the DVD so I can sell it. So it's a great deal for me. So a little bit of work, but it's not going to cost me.
Sounds like it.
So.
Plus, you get out there and especially for this current film,
as
well as
any free or something.
Production.
Yeah. I had another friend in Florida who's works with a Spanish TV station. She was going to air it down there just in the English form, but I don't know if she ever did or not. But so it's. You know, it's
this one goes
okay.
in Spanish speaking. You guys get a Spanish dub for this one, then you get it aired down there in Spanish. Also, too, a lot of people that don't speak English, you know, that would, you know, be a possible way to bring people to Christ and
absolutely
things too. So what actually got you into filmmaking? Because you've been a writer on several books for years. How did you cross into filmmaking versus just writing books?
Well, I've written 18 books at this point. But the reason I started writing is because I went through an experience with what I can only construe as God. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning with a sensation. I'd heard a voice that said, write a book about evolution. And I just went back to sleep. But the next morning when I woke up, I just went to prayer. I said, Lord, did you ask me to write a book about evolution last night? And just as clear as a bell, this inaudible voice goes through my head saying, and when you're done with that, I want you to go after Harry Potter and the sexual revolution. Well, I started out and I wrote the book on evolution and wrote a book about anti-Harry Potter and anti-Twilight and, other things dealing with the sexual revolution, and nothing's selling. So I'm just like, Lord, well, why did you have me write these stuff if nobody's going to buy these books and read them? And then it dawned on me that he had not said write a book about the sexual revolution, Harry Potter. He said go after them. So I asked myself, well, what's the most effective way to, to get to people's heads and hearts? And the answer was movies. And so that's when I started moving into the arena of films and started writing movie scripts. I started out, I wrote one called Mission Improbable, which I hope to shoot this year. And then I just kept on writing, and, in Gramps' shoes was an idea that I'd had sitting on in a notepad file for a few years. I just had written down, old man challenges 4 kids to a relay race. That was where it all started, and it ended up, becoming reality. And so.
Now, how'd you end up hooking up with Chip Rossetti?
Well, Chip was on my blog talk show as a guest because I was trying to find all the Christian directors and producers and have them on my show. So I'd had him on my show. And then Danny Jones, who did the music for both Gramps movies, was also worked with Chip, and he had a party down in Nashville for a movie that he'd had a song, playing in, and Chip came down for that, and I went over to the party, and so I met Chip, but we really didn't talk that much. But then a few weeks later, maybe a couple months, Danny called me and said, Chip needs an investor for the movie. He wants, and God put your name on my heart. So I called Chip, and we talked, and we ended up becoming partners on that movie, and then we've done 4 more since then. So I did not realize at the time that somebody could make a movie for as little money as Chip could, because I had been talking to some people, and they said, we need $200,000 to make a good movie. Yeah. And so I was waiting for that kind of money to arrive. Well, I never was going to get that kind of money the way things were going. So when I found out I could do it for a lot less than that, I jumped at the chance, and so that's where I got involved.
Plus, he shoots with any scene anywhere from 2 to 3 cameras in any scene, so he cuts down a lot of the shooting time, getting all your various angles down, right in one take versus having to take multiple takes after take just to change angles too. So,
yep,
that also changes the mood.
He just amazes everybody who comes in who's never worked with him before.
You guys should run a fundraiser. You guys should run a fundraiser for like the movies or something, or for like your new coming up film or whatever.
I don't need a fundraiser. If I could get just everybody in at the Central Baptist Church in Crossville to buy a copy of one of my movies, I'd finance a film. I don't need fundraising. I just need people to buy that. I don't want to ask people for people's money. I'm not a person that tries to do that.
Yeah.
But I got something to sell and something that I think has value. So I sell them a movie. They give me the money, and then I can make a new movie. So they can buy another one and keep the process going.
And just keep on streaming one after another. Eventually they'll grow and get your name out there. And
I'm not worried about my name. Yeah, getting the name out there is good so you can sell more. But I mean, as far as getting my name out there so I can be a big shot, that's not part of my plan. It's not part of my desire.
Yeah. Yeah, just enough a name where
it seems like you're wanting people to believe in God mainly, and for people
one name that I want to get out there.
Yes,
it's not Chip Rossetti. It's not Donald Parker. It's not Jeff Rose. It's it's not any human. I just want to get the name of Jesus out there on the street. So, and also not just the name, but also Jesus told us to make disciples of all men. He said, "Go forth and baptize all men, and teach them to do all the things I've taught you." And so that's part of my commission, is to teach people in my movies. What is it that God wants us to do? How are we supposed to behave? And so that's the things that I try to include in my movies.
Hello, Samuel Brock Flint Show will be ending soon.
Yeah, thank you. We're wrapping up here. Our show will be ending ending here in a few seconds here. So,
alrighty.
Everybody, appreciate for coming out, listening in with Donald James Parker. Please tell your website real quick and how they can contact you first.
Yeah, DonaldJamesParker.com is my website. And if they click on Sword of the Spirit logo there, that'll take them to the Sword of the Spirit site where they can order copies of In Gramps Shoes or Gramps Goes to College or any of my books.
Okay, so thank you for coming in with us and everything. So everybody out there, please check out Donald James Parker and some of his works. Unexpected Bar Mitzvah is currently in production. Will be coming out soon. Gramps Goes to College and also In Gramps Shoes. You can check those at movies out. Gramps Goes to College and In Gramps Shoes are available on DVD. Just check out his website for more information. And thanks a lot, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Christopher. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
You take care, everybody, and we'll join us soon.
Take care.